super weird opening, but I think we're in a actually really good trade, or basically the entry is really good. So we opened here, and basically price action since then was just super choppy and back and forth. And I thought we would just rally higher with the opening, targeting the equal highs right here with the New York open kill zone liquidity. We have London highs right here, and also like daily highs and or yeah, two daily highs. So I'm definitely bullish today, and we also like had the big volume imbalance right not the big inversion fair value gap right here and the fair value gap right here, and we already swept the New York open kill zone, so I didn't expect the opening to draw even lower. So that's, I think, big manipulation in my opinion. And basically what I see, the setup right here is that the 10 a.m. candle, which is like the big down close candle, is like only manipulation. So always big candles which sweep liquidity are always manipulation, and in that case we don't want to chase lower prices because we are already beneath the opening prices right here, and also beneath 830, which is right here. And so basically, as you see, these two candles, as I mentioned yesterday, are without a wick, so we can expect that price will draw beneath it, or take out trade beneath the body, as we see right here. And then therefore that's like the gray pool ICT mentioned. So there's where smart money is accumulating long positions, and we traded higher, closed, or we had a nice break of structure, closed above the consequent encroachment of the higher time frame gap, and then traded perfectly to consequent encroachment of the order block, and then we just rallying higher, and that's really low resistance right here. So that's just high resistance. I don't want to trade any setups in here. I didn't expect that NQ would even trade lower after we already swept the sell side liquidity. So basically for me that's already a market maker buy model, because we are already beneath all opening prices and we swept sell side liquidity. So I would have liked basically to take longs in here, but it's pre-market and I won't trade pre-market anymore. And basically I got really humbled in the opening range, so I guess I have to rewatch my ATM models which I took, and if there are some entries before 9:45, but if not, I will trade, or I won't trade before 9:45 in the future. So for me the opening range I most of the time only lose, and I think it's way too difficult to trade. So basically often you can't really understand where price is trying to draw to, because with the opening you always manipulate higher and lower. There's not really a clear direction, and yeah, so I definitely would like to see the gap right here stay open, and eventually the gap right here as well. But on a 5-minute we still have like the wick from the order block, so we could maybe trade into consequent encroachment. But because we're still stuck in this range right here, I would like price just to trade higher and higher now. So that's basically the fair value gap is still valid to add in here, in my opinion. But we could trade lower if you regard maybe if you regard the 5-minute chart. So maybe you could trade lower into this gap right here to the order block right here, because we're retracing on a 5-minute chart. Yeah. Let's see. So basically that's a perfect trade right here. So the liquidity right here could already be a partial, but especially because we are a bit anticipating higher prices, and the targets right here are super close to the big range and to the opening prices as well. We wouldn't have expanded if we reverse after taking out the buy side liquidity right here. So basically the levels I regard the levels right here only as a speed bump, for example, so that we slow down a bit, maybe retrace in here, and then we continue higher if we are bullish, so if we are right with our targets to the upside. But yeah, I mean, on the hourly chart it's super clean right here. We have London highs, we have both daily highs right here, so and we swapped sell-side liquidity and traded below the high time frame gap. So yeah, definitely bullish. Would like to see price trade higher. You will see. Can't buy add, I think, because yeah, I've lost too much. Oh, I can. So I added right there. Yeah, that just looks like a mess. Whoops. Yeah. Would be super surprised if we can't take out the highs right here, the equal ones. So even if we are not bullish on a day, these highs are just super clean, and it's definitely high resistance liquidity right here because we're just back and forth price action. But I mean, we did the damage on the sell side liquidity already and on the sell side, so it's just a super weird day. I don't like how we close below the opening prices on the 5-minute chart. So that's basically tells us that the 5-minute chart is still respecting the opening prices and we are maybe still bearish, or not in a bullish sentiment. So basically I wanted to trade this setup right here. So basically with the breaker, after we swapped the sell side liquidity, and we also like in or between the within the macro, so the London close macro, and I expected actually a 5-minute retracement at least to the 10 a.m. open, and perfect would be if we reach the high time frame gap. So why did I choose break even? So basically it's because I often got humbled with such retracements. If we are, for example, bearish trending, we often form a breaker setup after we swapped sell side liquidity, but often that's just a 5-minute retracement into a 5-minute fair value gap. For example, if we enter on this candle right here, we only trade a bit above the high right here into the fair value gap, the big fair value gap right here, and then we would reach lower. But in that case, that's not the case, because it's more safe to trade it, because we are within the macro and we are not in really bearish trending conditions. So therefore the setup right here could have been your trade today. And yeah, so I don't really like it, because we didn't get any displacement right here as well, so it's only a breaker, not a unicorn setup, how you could call it, with displacement. But definitely what I'm taking from today is that I won't trade before 9:45. So the only yeah, or maybe, so in the ATM model it's maybe not the case, but I try to stick more with my macros, and yeah, just try to avoid the opening range, so I won't trade it. And I think, yeah, the ATM model is the only exception for trading before 9:45, but most of the time the setup forms even after 9:45, so it's way more quality if you enter after 9:45 than before it. And yeah, actually surprised that we can still trade higher from here, but I think we won't see that the highs or that the highs right here are getting taken out. I think we have to wait to tomorrow. So basically that's actually typical price action for no news days before high impact news. Do we just range around and only build up some liquidity? Yeah. So basically today, I think this setup right here is still valid. The entry right here is actually pretty good, because I was convinced that we wouldn't trade really lower after the or below the 10 a.m. opening, because the candle right here is just super aggressive, and I regarded it as manipulation, and I knew we would or I hoped we would have a bullish bias, that we would take out the daily liquidity, but we just reversed here right above the highs right here. So nevertheless, this could have been a really nice trade. I don't really like the targets we would have to choose right here, so maybe the buy side liquidity right here above these highs. So, but yeah, then we have just these equal highs right here, the London highs and the daily liquidity. So it's really hard to say, and yeah, that would have been a valid trade as well. But yeah, that's it. Really difficult trading conditions lately. So since I'm back from vacation, I only lost. I basically learned a lot as well, but really difficult, really difficult, because we can't really move. So the opening is always ranging, manipulating, and we can't really move on the daily chart within our silver bullet time window, or we will just shit the bed. But yeah, we will have to see.